So like what it really is lacking, at least in my process, would be structure. There's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of shapes, there's a lot of, you know, big, small, textured, smooth. So tons of contrast, and like your eye wouldn't really know where to go. And so what I'm lacking here are large shapes that have just like a solid color. They could be a sophisticated color where they've been mixed with each other, and black and white, gray. So I might be thinking about moving into shape. I'm at the point now where I want to just inject some structure into it, and I more recently have started using these letters of all different sizes, but because this is a larger scale piece, I want big shapes, but I don't just want the letters to be identifiable. So like in this case, I noticed that it had this nice curve, and right now I'd say, you know, there's a lot of curvilinear, but there's also some rectilinear motion set up by these drips. And so I'm going to just start to, I have a pen in my hand, and I've got these stencils, I've got a variety of them, and they're kind of a combination of curvilinear and rectilinear. Like this letter J here has a sharp edge, but I'm making that go off the edge of the painting. And I'm just going to make this mark. And this part, you know, I know you can't see it, so I'm really just kind of showing you what I'm going to be doing, is making some marks on the painting that I'm going to then fill in with paint. And as you can imagine, when it comes to getting a shape to be hard edged, you do have to kind of slow down to get good edges. So that part will be have to be slowed down. I'm just going to make some marks here. I can see that pretty well. And just so that I know it's there and don't forget that it's there, I might just put a color in there. And again, I'm sticking to my palette. The color is part of the palette, but as far as exactly what the color is, it doesn't matter too much because I can always cover it over. So it's kind of just a place marker for me so that I remember that I need to put something there. But I can put some color in, and I'm thinking of a dark red. That's part of the palette. I've got this cadmium red deep. Just so that I remember that this is here, I'm going to quickly, I may not go all the way to the edge because that's where you have to really slow down. Make sure the edge is nice. So relative to everything in this painting right now, this will be a solid color, unlike so much that's going on. So when I ask myself, you know, what don't I have? I don't really have many solid colors. I don't have really many big shapes. That's what tells me where to go next. This is a really big shape, and it's been kind of a favorite of mine. I do use this a lot, and again, it can go off the edge, it can go anywhere. And I am aware of, like, I don't want it to be directly under this, and I don't want it to be directly in the center, and I don't really want to be on an angle. So those are the only things I'm really thinking right now. And I really just plan on overlapping a lot of shapes that are made from letters and other shapes that I've cut out that aren't related to the alphabet. Really anything continues to go here, but I'd say I'm moving now into Explore because now I'm not just recklessly throwing things onto the painting. I'm thinking about positioning and where I want this painting to go. I know I'm in Explore. Again, it doesn't really matter exactly what this color is because I can always go over it. And the more times you go over a color, even if it's a solid, opaque color, if I sand it back, you'll start to see the colors behind it. So I'm going to put in a color. I'm going to start with this aqua, but I'm going to change it with a little bit of gray and a little bit of green, starting to make these more sophisticated color combinations. I like to have a lot of different sizes of related shapes. The good thing about making these shapes, and they're somewhat randomly placed. I mean, there's some thought for sure, but the fact is that once I decide where to put it, I get to cover up what's underneath it without worrying about losing something that I may love. So it's kind of a way to trick your left brain into letting go of something you might really like. There could be a ton of things I like under this shape, but I can't keep everything. And there needs to be some direction for the eye, so. A lot of people don't like how quickly acrylic sets up, but I actually really like it because I like to move fast. So I'm going to grab my awl and my 3-foot yardstick here and just make some lines. So when using the awl, I'm on a vertical surface right now, but it can be done on a horizontal surface as well. And you really want to push into the wood. I wouldn't do this if it were paper. You can do it if it's canvas, if you're somewhat careful. I'm going to use this Montana marker and just make some calligraphy here. Okay, lots of new opaque shapes on there. Okay, I'm going to step back. All right, well, it's coming along. I'm going to let this dry and think a little bit more about what I don't have and, yeah, proceed on the next time.